welcome to a Friday here at the Gresham household. I'm Dan Gresham, and this is the at-home update because truly, I ran from the studio straight home. It's Friday. I am ready for the weekend. I don't know about you, but I think I wake up on Tuesday going, is it Friday yet? Yes, it is. And as we head into the weekend, looks like it's going to be a nice one as far as the weather goes. But let me tell you, is it cold out or what? I don't know. If you haven't ventured out yet this morning, do not go out wearing what you wore yesterday, because that shorts and t-shirts thing is not going to cut it today. We're starting out in the 30s. Wind chills this morning, especially up in the lakes area. Also down in South County in the upper 20s. So yes, it is chilly. Winter is back. May not hang around very long. This is that time of the year because of, we get into the roller coaster of temps where we've had like a 60-degree spread. We were 30 degrees above where we were one day, and now we're 30 degrees below. So we're all going to be walking around colds and sniffling, and probably it only get worse the deeper we go into February and start heading into March. Again, good morning to you. If you want to comment about anything that's on your mind this morning, it's as easy as a Facebook post. You just go down at the bottom, you comment, whether you're on your mobile device or if you're at home. We're also broadcasting on YouTube. We have a channel there called Dan's at Home. You can subscribe if you want, and you can watch these also on YouTube. And you can communicate to us, as I mentioned, just by making a comment. If you want to tell us where you're watching from, what's happening in your world, some question you might have, feel free to do so. I can show you that I can see these. Whoops, that's not how I see them, though, not with the counter. This is how I see them. Carol is up this morning, says it's chilly in Elkhart. All right, so just like that, we can communicate with each other this morning if you would like. Always ask you to do me the personal favor, too, of hitting the thumbs up, just so that we know that you've been here, and we can also acknowledge that. Let's get things started. Of course, we do these because we want you to catch up on what's happening in the headlines. We believe the best way to do that is to go to KFDM.com. Sure, there are a lot of places you can go and find out what's happening in the Ukraine, but there are very few places that you can go and catch up on what's happening in Beaumont, Vidor, Orange, Port Arthur. The list can go on. Nederland, Newton, Kirbyville, Jasper, Woodville. This is where you come when you want local news. And before I even get into this, I really need to back up a step, because I know a lot of you are very faithful viewers and have been for years to KFDM. And I want to apologize. We've had some serious technical issues over the course of the last several months. And I wish that I had some way that I could control those, but I can't. I think everyone I work with probably feels the same way. Wish that we had the ability to control things and make things better, but sometimes they're just out of your hand and they're bigger issues. And we're dealing with one. We have one now. We hope is corrected. Yes, I know the Bold and Beautiful was in Spanish yesterday. I dealt with it. I spoke to a lot of people yesterday trying to explain what we were, and it's very complicated. It's very technical. I'm not sure I understand what was going on, but the old days when I started doing this, and it truly was a television broadcast, those days are gone. Because now what you have, yes, we still broadcast. You can still broadcast just what it means. Broad, going everywhere, over the air, through the antenna, right? You received it at home. And then we kind of graduated to cable, and now from cable we've gone to the internet. So the delivery system is much different than it was 25 years ago. I'm not trying to make an excuse, I'm just trying to explain. So now we're delivering to many of you via the internet. So we have to go through all these different routers, and we have to go through these different buffers, and we've had some problems. We've had some problems. We hope that we have them resolved. We hope that moving forward, you will have not, the SAP, as they call it, SAP, or the Spanish edition, but that you will have what you need. If you need Spanish, it's there. If you need closed caption, hopefully it's there. But we are certainly trying to resolve those issues, and I think that we have it for the most part You may not notice it until The Bold and the Beautiful comes on for many of our viewers, our faithful, but it should be okay today. I told somebody it was a free Spanish lesson. They didn't think that was very funny, and I understand that. But it should be corrected, and it should be solved today, hopefully. All right, so let's get back to it. I wanted to show you some of the stories that we're following this morning. Perhaps the story that's getting the most attention, and probably should, is this story concerning Ford Park, which for years has been something that Jefferson County and the taxpayers in Jefferson County have paid for. You know, through the years, they subsidized. There was never any misconception, except maybe for the original people who put this all together decades ago, that thought this would be something that could sustain itself. It hasn't. It has always been subsidized by the taxpayers in Jefferson County. So a group came along, said, hey, you know what? We think we'd like to buy Ford Park. And of course, the county said, sure, we'd love to sell it to you. They came up with a deal. They agreed on the amount, $22 million. And months later, they are still waiting for that $22 million to actually go into an account. And you can go and read the whole story. A month ago, they set February 18th as the deadline for the Renaissance Development Group to come up with the money, right? Now, Kevin Johnson with Renaissance has said all along, this is not easy. This is not something that we're going to be able to just reach into our pocket and pull out $22 million and put it on the table. You know, we have to go through the banks, and the banks want due diligence, and that includes inspectors and engineers and architects, and putting forth, you know, the proper documents to prove that we can make this a sustainable effort. So they have gone out, they've done the engineering work that needed to be done. We're told that they expect to get that report. Now the question is, what happens next? What if they don't meet the deadline today? Will the county commissioners extend the deadline again? Or is this a hard stop? Is this, hey, either today, you know, or it's done? We'll see. We'll see. Isn't the bottom line the fact that there's really not too many other options at this point except for the county to continue to subsidize that particular building and the grounds that are there? There weren't a whole lot of other suitors. There weren't dozens of people coming forward saying we want their property. Or if there were, they were not made public. This was the group that came forward. This is the group that said we want it. And we'll see if they can come through today or what happens moving forward. They have pretty big plans for that particular piece of property. Also in our headlines this morning at KFDM.com, the governor in town campaigning, as you would assume that he would, since he is in a contested primary election. And he came into town talking about getting out the vote. He also talked about what he had done during the pandemic to keep the economy alive, plus talked about the $1.7 billion biorefinery that's coming to Newton County, 140 jobs, 600 construction jobs. I mentioned he is locked into a battle with several. And of course, we're not just talking, I keep reminding people that I run into that this is, remember, this is a primary. And in the state of Texas, you vote your primary with your party. You don't, it's not an open door. You don't get to go between two. Oh, I want to vote for this person for governor in this party and this person for treasurer in this party. You vote the party. So you either have to say, I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican, and then you can vote. So, but anyway, campaigning will continue on, as you can imagine. There's a lot going on. Zachary Parker, good morning to you. Hope all is going well. Also, Emma Jean, morning to you. Hope things are good in your world this morning. Ready for the weekend as well. All right, what else do we have for you this morning? Oh, a crazy story out of Port Arthur. This is like something out of a movie. Campaign volunteer charged with assault after he hit another campaign worker with a campaign sign. True. This is, sometimes what do they say? Truth is stranger than fiction. Apparently a campaign volunteer is out on bond this morning after the two workers got into it yesterday. Blake Foreman arrested Thursday morning, assault charge, $750 bond, he's out, right? But he was campaigning for Precinct 2 Justice of the Peace, Mark DeRuin, who said, yeah, he's part of our re-election campaign, he's a volunteer, but DeRuin said, I do not support his actions one bit. The other volunteer was working for DeRuin's opponent, Joseph Guillory II. Yeah. Don't you always wonder when you see people who are working these polling places, and they're coming out and they're talking to you, they're standing right there, and they're standing right next to you. Surely there's tension, right? My guy's better than your guy. Now we know it's more than just words, apparently. This one ends with actually some physical involvement there. And we're just into the primaries. We still have a ways to go before we actually get to the elections. Also this morning, some more positive news. The positive COVID count in Jefferson County and in Beaumont, significantly lower than it was 2 weeks ago, certainly much less than it was a month ago. Last report we had was 26 positive cases in the city of Beaumont. 26. Can't tell you the last time we looked at those numbers and that happened, that we saw those just double digits is a bit of a surprise. All right, also positive this morning is around the entire state. This is the Texas Tribune, where they've done a great job over the course of the last 2 years keeping up with numbers as they can get them. But here you see hospitalizations are down significantly. Average cases are down significantly. And there's always a lag time. You'll see decreases in hospitalization and cases before you see a decrease in the number of deaths. Vaccination rate, we're reaching close to 60% of Texans being fully vaccinated. And it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, that phrase that we heard early in the pandemic is suddenly being used again, and that is herd immunity. Because across the country, we're closing in on 70% or better. Not necessarily has been vaccinated, but has at least been exposed to in some way, which would make them less likely to get the Omicron variant. Now, if that changes, if we get another variant comes out of somewhere, then I guess that would change things. Let's see who is checking in this morning. Hi, Alma. Good morning to you. Johnny Sanguine says they need to stop allowing these people from being on site. I don't want to be approached by them. I think a lot of people feel the same way, Johnny. I think a lot of people are like, I get it. You want to be actively campaigning, but at the same time, it is uncomfortable. You feel like you have to walk the gauntlet when you want to go and vote. It's not that they're necessarily harassing you or, it's just that feeling like this is not where I really want. I've made my decision. You're not going to change my mind as I'm walking up to the door. Now, obviously, the campaigns feel differently, and I'm sure there's research that shows them that there are a lot of people who are undecided, that still don't know what or whom they want to vote for when they're walking up. And that maybe your campaign sign, or maybe you're just taking a moment to say, hey, vote for my guy, is enough to put you one way or the other. But I think a lot of people, John, feel exactly the same way you do. That it's a very uncomfortable feeling to be approached at that point. I don't think it's going to stop, but I think we just pass laws that make sure that it doesn't. That makes it a little bit easier, actually. All right, I'm going to get out of here this morning. I know you have the weekend ahead of you and things to do. Me too. So I'm going to get on to it. But I do want to pass this last story. I couldn't help it. Houston Chronicle, Tillman Fertitta. Now, a lot of us have known Tillman Fertitta for quite some time. Now, I don't know Tillman Fertitta personally. I've just known him as far as, the name, the businesses, the way he came up through Houston and Galveston, but have followed Tillman Fertitta for some time. I will be honest with you, I knew that Tillman had made a whole lot of money on a whole lot of different ventures, but I guess I just didn't equate to the fact that he was at this level. But Tillman Fertitta has a $150 million super yacht. Of course, he owns the Houston Rockets. He also has, of course, the Kemah Boardwalk. He has Galveston Pleasure Pier. He has several casinos and restaurants in Atlantic City. He has the Golden Nugget over in Lake Charles. So a lot of different places. But I also don't think I realized his net worth. You have any idea? I didn't. I did not. But he can afford it. Estimated net worth of Tillman Fertitta, $6.2 billion. So I guess he can afford to have a yacht like this. You want to go see the inside? It's pretty luxurious, as you can imagine. It is right there on the Houston Chronicle. All right, that is pretty much it for me today. I am out of here. Hope you had a great day. Hope you have a great weekend. We'll look forward to talking to you again bright and early Monday morning on the morning show on KFDM and Fox 4. And of course, don't forget, you can always follow along what's happening right here on the KFDM Facebook page, as well as KFDM.com. Again, go out and make it a terrific weekend, everybody. We'll get back together soon.